Hello, welcome to the final betting preview of this World Cup. And it's obviously the final between Holland and Spain. Big final, so I think a lot of people are going to be watching this with interest, whether they have money on it or not. It's probably the most watched sporting event. So if you want my free ebook, check out the link below and I'll send it on to you straight away. So let's have a look at things. Looking at the Asian handicaps, initially after two teams had qualified, the handicap was Netherlands plus a half, Spain minus a half. That quickly changed and has stayed at the new handicap, which is Netherlands plus a quarter, Spain minus a quarter. Seeing that the Netherlands have drifted continuously since that handicap change, so we might see that handicap move back up to the plus a half. Obviously then Spain have been shortening the whole time. The unders and overs in Asia, the handicap there went from 2.25, it's now down to 2. It's drifting slightly at 2, so we'll have to see. I don't think it'll change before the kickoff, but again, you never know. Could depend on the team sheet that goes out at the end, whether Torres starts or not would have an effect on potential goal scoring threats or not. So then looking at the fixed odds on the World Cup final in Asia, the Netherlands started off 3.5, they drifted to 3.75 and they've stayed there since. So not that much support for them. There has been support for Spain. They started off 2.21, they're 2.14. They were there a couple of days ago, so they've stayed flat at that. And there's been not much support again for the draw. That has drifted from 3.2 to 3.35. So again, it doesn't look like they're fancying that it's going to go to extra time in this one. So have a look then at Vegas. Handicap here is 0, so neither team are giving or gaining an advantage. No surprise then to see that Spain are odds-on favourite. We've seen that it's people are still absolutely lumping on at this handicap level. Surprised that no one, or there hasn't been a change yet to give the Dutch an advantage to balance out the books, as the Dutch have continuously drifted while Spain are shortened, and they're absolute crazy odds at the moment. Crazy short, that is. The unders and overs. The overs market here is 2 again, same as in Asia. It has shortened slightly, but again, we'll have to see. I don't think it will change before the off anyway. We might see money piling onto that if there is if the team news is a bit strange, if someone alters their tactics to go a bit more attacking. Spain have played with 2 defensive midfielders just like the Dutch, so they're only playing 1 up front. So then look at the fixed odds in Vegas. No surprise here that the Dutch have drifted and Spain have shortened, and the draws also drifted. So again, many people are expecting the Spanish to come away with their first ever World Cup victory. Then looking at the exchanges, again similar pattern, that the Dutch have drifted, the Spanish have shortened, while the draws also drifted. At the moment there's about 4 million being matched, so again, like we saw today's game, the German and Uruguay third, fourth place playoff, that started off only been a few million. Yesterday I made a video that absolutely rocketed up before kickoff. It was up to about 20 million, and now I'll just check it was still ongoing. It's about 15 minutes left and there is total 34 million matched on it. So again, I would expect the final being a marquee game that there'll be more people involved. So again, that we'll see an explosion in the amount traded. So looking then at the percentages matched, no surprise here to see that the Spanish have 70% of the market, absolute domination, while the Dutch only come in at 18%, while the draw only comes at 12. So absolute domination there in the Spanish. Looking at the bookies then, they've got the Dutch flat in the week at 3.75, the draw slightly drifting at 3.3, and the Spanish are flat at 2.1. The unders and overs, again, still over 2.5 goal market there, that is staying flat at 2.5. Forgot to mention the over 2.5 goal market in the betting exchanges. That's shortened. It's still rank outsider. Under has been favoured, but it has shortened, but it's drifted again slightly, but not to the level that it was initially started at. So have a look at form. Dutch have won all 6 games in their last 6 games, so they've obviously won all 6 games so far in this tournament. They've been very consistent at getting victories. I think they've actually set a record for the most games won in a World Cup in a row, I think. And they've also been unbeaten since 2008, so they're on an absolute monster run. The Spanish were on a similar kind of run, but they lost their first game against the Swiss, so they've 5 wins and 1 loss so far in the last 6 games, and then obviously 5 wins and 1 loss in the World Cup so far. Have a look at the rankings. FIFA rankings have stayed the same, obviously throughout this whole World Cup. It's got the Dutch at 4th, while the Spanish are 2nd. The ELO rankings have changed throughout the tournament. We've seen that the Dutch were there for a couple of days, and then the Spanish took it back, and there they still have it. So it is the number 1 and number 2 ranked side that are facing off in this one. Have a look at the referee. It's Howard Webb. A lot of Premiership watchers will know him. He's ref 3 games so far in this tournament. He ref the Spanish loss against the Swiss, so read into that what you will. There's 1 goal in that, and there was 4 yellows. He refed Slovakia, Italy. There's 5 goals in that, and there's 8 yellows. And he refed Brazil, Chile, where there was 3 goals and 5 yellows. He's refed 63 international games. He's given 261 yellows, giving an average of 4.14 yellows per game. He's given 10 reds, giving an average of 0.16 reds per game. He's given 14 penalties, giving an average of 0.22 reds per game, or penalties per game. He does like giving out yellows, as we've seen in previous games, but he doesn't really seem to like to go too controversial with red cards, and he probably won't in the final. But I think a lot of people have been calling for Van Bommel to have been sent off in numerous games so far, so you never know. Stricter ref dishing out yellows might actually result in a red card in this one, probably to Van Bommel, for being honest. So having a look at goals scored, I'm not going to give you the goals scored in qualifying, as they're pretty irrelevant at this stage. The goals scored though in this tournament so far, the Dutch scored an average of 2 goals per game, conceded just an average of 0.83 per game. The Spanish have actually surprisingly only scored an average of 1.16 goals per game, so they've only scored 2 goals in 2 games. The rest have just been the single goal, most of them coming from David Villa. No surprise there. Really hope he scores again to take the Golden Boot, as I have a good bit of money placed on that. And so far they've conceded just an average of 0.33. They conceded against the Swiss and Chile, and that's pretty much it. They've been very tight and not giving away anything. So have a look at some streaks then. I left out the streaks in the Uruguay-Germany game, so apologies for that. People were a bit annoyed at me for that, but apologies again. So have a look at the streaks in this one. This is the first World Cup that does not contain Brazil, Argentina, Italy or Germany. So again, these 2 teams have never won it. The Dutch have been in the final twice before, but this is the first Spanish final, so we'll see if they can do it in the first go out. If Spain triumph in the final, they would be the first side ever to win it, the World Cup, after losing their first game. I remember saying that a good few times earlier on, that no side had won following a opening game defeat. If Holland are the victors, they will be only the 2nd side ever to win every match in the qualifying round and at the tournament itself. Unsurprisingly, Brazil are the other team who completed that feat of 100% record in qualifying and the tournament. Spain have completed 3,387 passes at this World Cup, unsurprisingly the most out of anyone else. And Wesley Sneijder has scored 7 goals in his last 8 internationals. So he will be fighting it out for the Golden Boot with David Villa. If you're looking for extra motivation for who's going to score, then you might look at Sneijder to score at any time, or David Villa to score at any time. I did it myself personally for the Muller and Forlan in the 3rd, 4th place playoff. Don't usually tend to do it, but I suppose there's special instances here with Golden Boot being such a coveted prize at this World Cup, as well as everything else. So have a look at some doubts and injuries. The only doubt for the Dutch is De Zeeuw. You might remember him getting kicked in the face as he stood in for De Jong last time out, so he's looking like he's going to miss out, but he probably wouldn't start anyway. And Albiol for the Spanish, as he has been for a long time. So have a look at the probabilities. Probabilities give the Dutch a 27% chance and a 26% chance, so 27 being the computed and 26 being the implied bookmakers' probabilities. The Spanish came in 53% on the computed, where they're 46% on the implied, and the draw comes in at 20% and 28%. So it's going to be a very tight game. Not really sure which way I'm going to be leaning. I had money on both of these teams at the start. I've laid both of them off, so I'm in profit for that. I do still have money on David Villa being top scorer with the Dutch winning, and David Villa being top scorer with the Spanish winning, so I win a hell of a lot more if the Dutch win and David Villa does indeed take top goal scorer. So definitely going to be rooting for David Villa to score, and I don't really mind after that. So check out twitter.com/bethelper to get my final tips, and if you're interested in my free ebook, just check out the link below.